So guys, in this video we are going to see how to become a good database administrator, which is considered as a DBA. Okay, so as we all know, in whatever the software application, database is the main core for our application, because whatever the data that we are going to manage in our application, everything is stored in the database only. Okay, so in order to become a good database admin, so what are all the basic things that you need that we are going to see in this slide. Okay, so as you can see here, first we should know what type of application that we are working. Okay, without knowing the application, if you are, even though you are good in a technical thing, if you don't have the proper understanding of the application which you are working, then it is very tough to working on that application. So which means if you want to create a table, if you want to write a query, or if you want to manage the data type of the particular column, if you don't know how to what is the data, what is the flow of the application, then it is very tough to manage all these things. So it is first step is always we should know what is the requirement or what type of application that you are working, what is the business flow or what is the business that your client is expecting. All this very important in order to become a good database administrator. Okay, so next one is, as I mentioned, once you know that the requirement of the application, then we have to ask like what type of data type that we need to use it in our column. For example, as you can see here, if you want to store the address, what type, how much length that we need to store in our application, which means in a database. So for example, if you are developing application only for the US, means we can have the 2 address line or 3 address line. But if you're having a different country, means then it may go for 5 or 6. Okay, again it depends on the application only. That's what I am asking. If you know the application, then only we know what type of data type that we can use it for our column. So what is a mobile number? Again, it's the same example. Like if you are working for an Indian based mobile numbers, then it is, as we all know, it's 13 digit, 10 to 13 digit. But if you are working in a different countries, then this may different, right? So date format, for example, each country will have their own date format which is understood by the users. So this is also very important, like what type of date format that we are going to use it in our application. Then is it regional application or international application? Which means, like if you are working in a very if you are working in an application that is going to be accessed by the only specific location of the users, then we can have some other requirement. But when it comes to international, then we have to think about all the different scenarios, different time zones, how we are going to store the date and time, how we are going to convert into to the different users. So all these things we need to consider when it comes to the that application which is accessed by the user. It is like a specific location, or it is like a broadly, like it can be accessed from anywhere from that world. Okay, so due to this reason, I am telling like data type of the column is very important in order to become a good database administrator. Okay, next one is we should not repeat the data in the table. Okay, so if you see here the first image, this is a sample table and ID data A, data B. In the data A, as you can see here, value 1 is duplicate, which means it is repeated. But instead of repeating this data, we can create one master table, or we can create one more parent table from that table, or we can create one more child table. From there we can able to retrieve this data. Okay, so we should not repeat the table in the same table, or whatever the table, that we should not repeat the data. Instead, what we can do, we can just create one more table. From the table we can take a reference, which is considered as a foreign key. So foreign key is nothing but we are referencing from the another table. So whenever we are having this type of foreign key, which instead of duplicating the record or replicating the record, if you can able to reference from another table, it helps to reduce the duplicate records actually. Okay, so whenever we are going to remove this duplicates, our database performance will be very high because of the data redundancy. Okay, so try to reduce the duplicate record and try to create some master table from where we can able to retrieve the data if using a reference ID or something like that. Okay, which is considered as a foreign key here. Okay, so as much as possible, try to use this primary key and unique key to make some unique data in your table. So whenever we are using a keys, we can able to retrieve the data very fastly because of the key. By default, it is indexes actually. Okay, so primary key, as we all know, when in a table we can make a 2 column as a primary key, which combines become a composite key. So unique means only that particular table column will become unique. So it creates a generally whenever if you want to, if in case unknowingly that if you are inserting a duplicate record to the table, it will not allow, it will throw the error because of the key concept. Okay, so using the keys we can avoid unwanted duplicate records. Okay, so if you follow these steps, definitely you can become a good database administrator. There will be a lot of points will be available, but these are all the major points if you become a database administrator. Okay, thank you.